Madam Speaker, Passport Canada's narrow definition of need for expediting a passport is very troublesome. If a person has an upcoming ticket to Disney World, they can get an expedited passport. If someone is pleading to expedite their passport so they can fly to say goodbye to their dying parent, or go to Europe to help their scared elderly mother escape from Ukraine, well, that isn't really an urgent need according to Passport Canada. So if the minister can't be competent, can she at least try to be compassionate?
Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Families, Children and Social Development.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you for the member for his additional question. I'd like to be clear that those clients and those Canadians who are in need for humanitarian reasons or other compassionate purposes, for critical illness or other emergencies to travel, whether it's the death of another person, they can obtain a passport within 2 business days with proof of travel or need. And this standard is being pressed upon and upheld from coast to coast to coast at every Passport Canada counter across this country. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
L'honorable député de Louis Saint-Laurent.
The honourable member for Louis Saint-Laurent. Madam Speaker, yesterday, the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance chose Toronto to make an announcement to give Canadians hope about inflation. But unfortunately, once again, the Minister of Finance showed that she's completely disconnected from Canadians' reality. She didn't make any new announcement, just re-announcements. So I have a question. Why does this Liberal government refuse to help Canadian families by lowering taxes? The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Tourism. Well, there's a simple answer. We have lowered taxes on the middle class, whereas the Conservatives voted against that. It's unacceptable that today the Conservatives are asking us to do what they refused to do a few years ago. Yesterday, the Deputy Prime Minister announced our plan to support Canadians during this period of inflation and cost of living increase. It's a serious plan, whereas the Conservatives have nothing to propose. The Honourable Member for Louis Saint-Laurent. Well, Madam Speaker, everyone knows that this year this government increased the carbon tax. Today, we heard in the Journal de Montréal a scathing but true comment, which is that all of this Liberal government's measures will not fight inflation. In fact, they'll make it worse. In what unicorn country does this Deputy Prime Minister live? That's the problem. She's out of touch. She lives in fantasy land. But Canadians have to live in the Liberal Canada where taxes are increasing. Why does this government not want to reduce taxes for all Canadians? The Honourable Minister of the Environment. Thank you, Madam Speaker. My colleague spoke about carbon pricing, and I'd like to remind him that federal carbon pricing does not apply to Quebec, since Quebec has its own cap-and-trade system, first of all. And secondly, in the provinces where the carbon pricing system applies, people get more back from that system than what is taken away from them. In Ontario, families will get $745 this year, $830 in Manitoba, in Saskatchewan, $1,100, and in Alberta, $1,080. So Canadians are better off with this carbon pricing system. The Honourable Member for Louis Saint-Laurent. Well, it's always nice to hear the former founder of Équiterre, who is currently being brought to court by Équiterre, tell us about the situation. Now, the reality is that countries like Germany, Great Britain, Australia, South Korea, the US have all taken measures to reduce taxes, especially on gas. Why? Because fuel prices affect everyone, especially when you're trying to buy groceries, because those groceries were transported and use fuel. And so those taxes are being passed on in food prices. Why is this government refusing to lower taxes? The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Tourism. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And honestly, I find it shameful that a colleague from Quebec is saying we need to lower taxes on oil companies when we know that we are facing